And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live, where we're highlighting the best of JKL in 2015. The interviews, the guests, the sound bites that remained with us throughout the year. Here now are more of the best of JKL in 2015. Orierogo, both your parents were teachers.
Both.
Teachers on strike, week number 5 now.
Both parents were teachers. Both were heads of institutions. Both, I watched them. And Jeff, I didn't tell you that my father, with the late Koinange, my father was treasurer of NAT. Yeah. And when he passed on, I'm the one who returned his books.
To NAT?
And I'm here, particularly. I came in from Kitale because of my father and my mother. I watched them, they worked so hard, they tried so hard. Years, it's been years. This salary increment they just talked about. And I'm telling teachers now, as a daughter of a teacher, a daughter of 2 teachers, don't go back.
That's what you're saying?
Don't go back.
That's what you're saying?
Till you're paid.
Chris, your thoughts?
Well, I'm here on behalf of the kids who are innocent, who are looking at all this drama, who are wondering what's going on. They're seeing their teachers they know in class, humble, guiding them how to behave, running around the streets, shouting, their mothers, and little do they talk about what's happening to their children. So the kids, before I came here, over 1 million young people asked me, please, can we become central to that discussion? How come nobody talks about us? What is this salary all about? These people have been employed for years. What happened all of a sudden? So the kids are going to do exams, and they have chosen the most punishing time for the children. So who will compensate their life? That is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not a normal trade union workers. These are not workers on the roads. These are not workers anywhere. They look after lives. They build the future of this country. Yes.
Chris, you said it. These are not just ordinary workers. These are special workers. Each one of these leaders have passed through their hands. Even those who are cleaning our roofs passed through their hands. These are very important people. And when we are talking about them, when we are sorting out on things on their behalf, we must treat them as special. I don't know how you give MCAs and all these fine MPs all that money. But when the teachers ask, since I was a kid, I remember whenever they wanted a salary raise, I told you my father was treasurer of NAT. Whenever they wanted a raise, it wasn't there. How many years? How many years? My father went, passed, my mother went, I'm here, I'm going to pass, my children are here. One of these days I'm going to get grandchildren, they'll also be there while we sing the song of give the teachers money. If we want to find money, I'm a mother, and a wonderful mother too. I love children, and these teachers, I want you to remember, some of these teachers, most of them have children too. Most of them also have children who are going to school and who are going to do exams.
But can you imagine, Norier, can you imagine if your parents had gone on strike while you were in school, what would you have done? Would you have turned out to be this?
Yeah. You wouldn't even be speaking English.
Thank you.
You know, you are a daughter of a teacher, and your mother is a teachers. So we don't expect anything else except what you're saying, and I respect your feelings, your opinion, but I personally come from the side of the kids who are suffering. These kids do not deserve to suffer at all.
Sir Chris, I am the mother of those kids who are suffering.
Exactly.
You've never even held a baby in your belly for 9 months. I am the mother. Yes. Those, and I love them. You know I love kids. Yes. It is, I love kids. I feel so bad. But those kids also, these parents, these teachers also have kids, and they have to earn enough to give their kids a decent life.
But these kids are being sacrificed now, Riel.
Yeah,
They're being
right now, who's
sacrificed.
sacrificing them? The person who's not getting out the salary is the one that give them the money, they'll be back. Give them the money tonight, they'll be back in classrooms tomorrow. But I'm telling you, teachers, don't go back. If you go back and you don't get the money, don't come back to me.
Oh my word. Oh my.
But in the meantime, kids in private schools
Yes.
carry
Are
on.
learning.
Are learning.
And
they're gonna be the smart ones, and these other ones will be the idiots.
I know.
And
I
you
know.
know-
I know it's painful, which is why somebody had better. Chris, couldn't you come up? I know you are, Chris, the other day I wished I was you, because if I were you, I'd have put forward maybe 10 billion and say, government add some, let's give it. Because you can afford it.
Chris, answer that.
I'm trying to save Kenya Airways.
I know, which is noble.
Right.
But don't you want to
Because
save the children?
I
instead of Kenya?
love to save the children, and that's why I'm here tonight with
Work
you.
at 10 million.
Trying to put common sense to Kenyans that let's not punish the young kids. Let's continue negotiating for salaries, but let us reduce the impact
But
of
Chris,
the future of these children.
if-
No, Uhuru is going to sit for 10 years. Yes.
But he's already here. That glad you agree.
no, I'm
Glad you
saying,
agree on that one.
this is
Yeah,
hypothesis.
please go on.
He's
No,
going
no,
to
no,
sit
no,
for
no,
10
that's
years, yes. Then,
Oh, you agree that?
He agrees.
no, listen
agrees.
first. Listen first. He's going to sit for 10 years.
Then
yes.
Ruto takes it for
then,
10 years.
Then the Equity Bank. Why do they doing biometrics at Equity Bank? Why are they doing biometrics at PSC?
So what do you
But
think? He's
they're
going to
doing
stay? He's going to
biometrics.
stay on?
Boss,
What I think is that
see-
somebody is creating a
No,
parallel voter register.
media houses. I know media houses have biometric these days.
Yes.
Is he saying even those ones are doing?
To enter the
No.
building.
Yeah, and even those ones are
It's
for
not,
collecting.
it's not being done. It's not
alive.
being done with IBC equipment. This one, Waiguru walks around with every time she goes around.
Hey, that woman.
Are we talking about the same Wahiguru?
Yes, yes.
That woman has worked at the Mbaridi. I think she needs to stay right there. If by herself
Yeah.
she's got code covered. Now Uhuru, at least Uhuru can work. The rest
Yeah.
of the cabinet can work.
Who is doing nothing with her?
Waiguru has got code covered by herself. Now
She's
the
not-
other 18 ministers have been able to work. I think her responsibility is just keep them busy.
And she's the only one who's taken on the former prime minister head on.
Kabisa.
Head on.
No, not
But you
head on.
see, she comes from the same place with Mother Karua. Eh? You have to remember that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And Martha Karua.
Those women don't joke.
And Martha Karua in Uhuru Park.
Let
Yeah,
me tell you.
yeah.
Let me tell you one thing with Raila. Raila never attacks women.
But he's attacking this one.
You remember one time Karua slapped Raila in parliament?
Oh, he did. See
She
that?
did.
Me, I didn't know that.
You're calling Karua he. She.
She did. She did. You see, now we don't know that.
No, don't we remember
No, I don't
that?
remember.
I don't
She
remember.
slapped him?
Oh.
Now, come on, a lie.
No,
You see, now, those are the
This
women.
man has too much
No,
information.
you see, I'm just trying to. I'm just.
Raila never fights women.
And now, but he's fighting Waiguru.
But he's ready to go to court.
Raila's just said. Raila just gave facts as a citizen of the country. A Raia. You call him Raia. So he has given his facts. He said that this person is doing the wrong things and they are A, B, C, D. If they are wrong, please take me to court.
You know, what worries me about these guys is they have so focused on Waiguru. So what would happen if Uhuru fired her tomorrow?
You will keep quiet and wait for the next person to
You see,
come.
that's what I'm saying. For them, that is the problem.
Yeah.
The strategy, the problem with code strategy is they don't have a plan. They wait for government to make a mistake. Then they
No,
jump
but
on
we have
that
a
mistake.
plan.
Remember, they had sugar.
We have a plan.
This guy is a sugar farmer. But
Yeah.
then he actually called into a radio where I was. He said he has. I didn't know he's a rich guy like that. No, you just
He's
see
got
him
a
in
farm.
town.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a farm.
Plantation.
With sugar. Yeah, sugar plantation. So he
lie.
called, talked to us about sugar. Now the sugar thing is forgotten.
Yes.
We had Okoa Kenya the other day.
Jubilee is
This is
importing
not, by the
sugar.
way, this M-Pesa bill, that this Okoa, this is the second M-Pesa bill CORD has given. Last year they did an M-Pesa bill to raise money for food. Where that money went, nobody knows.
Nobody.
Because they never, where did they take alive?
Which
Where
one?
did, the one humanitarian thing that was launched, I think, in Mombasa. Your pesa ilienda hapi.
Which money is that?
I even have a picture. There was
one
one of
from
your
Paketon?
governors. One of the guys, yes, there was money that was raised for food.
No, I don't think you're
I'll
talking
tell
about the
you,
right
your
thing.
picture.
Yeah.
There was this is the second
You know the
M-Pesa
thing is that
bill.
now Jubilee wants to imagine
No,
everything.
no.
and you
Like,
know,
This is the
you know,
second
you know,
M-Pesa
you know,
bill
Raila,
that
you
has
know,
been
you know,
raised
Jeff.
by CORD.
They have tried to connect Raila with the Kazi kwa vijana. it never washed. Raila was, they attempted to connect it with the maize imports. It never worked.
No, actually,
If Raila did anything wrong in this country, he would be in jail today.
What about Mumias? They say the Odinga family
Let me
owns
explain
200
something.
million.
Let me explain
they
something.
said nobody came. When Duale was asked to give out the facts and give the evidence, Duale ran away. He has never been quiet. Even defending the president against teachers,
Let
he
me
has not
explain
come out
something.
now.
He's been very
Let me
quiet.
explain something. The difference between CORD
Yes.
and Jubilee is that Jubilee doesn't get fixated on people. They
And
don't
they're
have this
fixated on
thing
Raila.
of this fixation
I
about
agree with
following
that.
people.
I agree with that.
They don't get fixated on people.
No, but on Raila.
CORD has a situation. No. Raila is this thing of him keeping coming. If Raila kept quiet or just did his thing, but this thing of him coming every time something goes wrong,
Jeff,
he's the one who tries to leverage it and run
Jeff,
with it.
let's talk facts.
Yeah.
When Raila was quiet, they even went to his home to remove his security. When Raila was quiet, was doing his own things, was going to New York, to Boston, to Germany, do his lectures.
So he's talking about he can keep security
tried.
boss.
An MP complained here when Raila stayed away in Boston for 2 months, that where is he now? What is he planning? He's planning a coup on the government. What is this fixing? Raila. What did
No.
Raila
Actually,
do?
let's give credit where it's due.
Yes.
Raila does keep the politics of this country alive.
Well, he's always in the headlines.
He does keep it alive.
Now you are talking.
He keeps it alive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And it's important to have this kind of
Which comes back to
conversation.
our point. Will you ever play second fiddle to anybody?
Nah,
I think you can.
not possible.
I think it's very possible.
Okay.
Especially now, to remove a government which has brought the economy so down, now that the kids, the President Kibaki Uhuru makes us appreciate Kibaki. We went to war under Kibaki. We fought a civil war, inter-ethnic war. The dollar didn't reach where it has reached. The shilling didn't drop so low. Yeah? We suffered. The president was immobile for some time. The shilling did go this down. But when Uhuru stepped into the finance ministry, we saw worse. And now he's the president, we have even seen worse.
I think
But
you
maybe
are
there's good
blaming
things
the
coming.
I
Maybe
think,
there's
no,
good
as
things
guys
coming.
don't control the dollar.
I think the problem is Uhuru.
You think so?
I think the problem is Uhuru. He's not disciplined enough to be president.
He's been president for 2.5 years.
I
3
think by
years.
chance, but the fact that he was
Actually,
put
by
there,
chance. Nobody becomes president by chance.
Okay, Align.
Boss, if people became president by chance, Raila would be president. They don't. Nobody becomes president by chance.
You've been very critical of Jubilee especially. And from the get-go, and the big thing that Jubilee was promoting was a new standard gauge railway. The first time in 120 years we're going to have a railway. It was going to cost something like 300 billion shillings. And it was, it was going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. You don't agree? At all?
One, I have several points, and I've made them all, so I'm repeating. There is no feasibility study of that project in the public domain. So, I would like to see what is the rate of return on that investment. So, what are we getting for our money back? Now, in the absence of that, I've done these things for many years. I started my career, as I said, as a number cruncher in the World Bank 25 years ago, appraising projects, development projects. And you never appraise a project in isolation. You always ask, what are the alternative investments you would make? What's the opportunity cost of putting money in that project as opposed to others? Then you rank your projects and you say this one has the highest rate of return. Now, even if I restrict that to railways, without even any analysis, I would have considered a couple of other projects and asked whether they'll be better. I've put some of this in the public domain. For instance, we're building a port in Lamu. We don't have infrastructure to evacuate cargo from that port. We don't have money for LAPSET either. So, why didn't we build a railway from Lamu to Thika, which is only 440 kilometers? That would give you infrastructure to 2 ports now, instead of 1, 2 corridors instead of 1. If you get to Thika, we have an old way live from Thika to Nanyuki. If you extend the railway to Nanyuki, you can actually then evacuate cargo to South Sudan and Ethiopia by road. So if it was 25 years ago and I was appraising these projects, I would put them side by side and ask which one has a higher return.
Yeah.
I know the other one would be infinitely cheaper in terms of cost. The other one is we have a huge tourist industry which is suffering at the coast. It's got huge logistics and transport problems. I would have considered a commuter rail from Malindi to Diani.
Down the coast.
Down the coast, up and down the coast. That would do a lot for expanding it. I can think about 5 or 6 different infrastructure projects
But this SGR,
that I would then put next to it and ask which one gives us our highest return. But since I have not seen a feasibility study on this one, I don't think that's the way too.
did you say there's no money for LAPSET?
We don't have money for LAPSET now.
There's none.
Zero.
They've started building the berths, 3 berths.
Yeah, they're building 3 berths with government money, but they don't have commitment from anybody else. The idea was that that would then crowd in other sources of finance. But to the best of my knowledge, and I'm quite knowledgeable on that, we don't have a penny. But let's go back to SGR. We're spending $4 billion on half the project.
To Nairobi.
To Nairobi.
Yes.
That means we may have to spend another $4 billion on the other half.
To Malaba.
$8 billion is almost 20% of GDP. I'm not aware of any country, other than building of the Panama Canal, that has spent 20% of GDP on one project. Especially building a railway where there is already another one.
So it was a bad move.
No, I say, show me the feasibility study and explain all these things to me. I'm actually quite knowledgeable in this subject, I would understand.
Yes.
so nobody is sort of risen to that challenge. I have raised the questions of alternative projects like the one I just mentioned. I've written that in the press, no response. I've asked them to their face, no response.
So what do you think was behind the thinking in this then?
I have no idea. Something happened. I think I saw this change about 5-6 years ago, when the discipline of analyzing public investment projects rigorously suddenly disappeared. And we went into something we call flagships. Vision 2030 flagship. As soon as a project is declared a Vision 2030 flagship, it is then passed by acclamation. After that is a chorus. No numbers, no rigorous analysis, no questions allowed. If you raise questions, you're sort of against or development, that kind of thing. And that's my problem. This is not, maybe there's a new way of doing things.
Are we
but
going to be paying for this for a long time?
we're going to be, again, there's very little documentation, but from what the little I've gathered is that this is actually more or less trade finance debt, which is medium term at most. So the sort of payback period for a railway would be at least 50 years. But we've borrowed less than 10-year money, as far as I know. So it's like taking an overdraft to finance a capital project, in a sense. So we're going to pay over a very short period.
But we did well with the Eurobond. We raised, what, 300 billion?
Yeah, but where is it?
It went into infrastructure projects.
Not that I know of. It went into the budget.
Are we spending more than we ever could pay back?
Well, it depends. If I could be wrong and say that this could be very high return projects, which will finally sort of pay off. We could strike more oil than we have to date.
That's right.
We could have windfalls of that nature. But if we are relying on the economy as I know it, we're going to struggle to pay off this.
Okay. No doubt the best of the best of the best of Jeff Koinange live in 2015. By the way, there's plenty more of the best of JKL in 2015 coming up in a moment. We'll take a quick break. See you on the other side.